Hare Krishna everyone, I am Kavya Budhiraja and welcome back to Being Krishna Conscious. On the most pious occasion of Sri Ram Navami Maha Mahotsav, let me narrate a beautiful story to you all depicting the glory of Ram Nam. Once, there was a Seth who lived in the village named Pandarpur. Now, Seth is a person who is very wealthy and who is very rich, who owns a lot of land and property. Seth is a Hindi term. Now, this Seth was engaged in a lot of philanthropic activities. He used to donate very often. One day, this Seth thought to himself, let me give away a Mahadan, Swarnadan. Let me donate gold in charity. So as a result, he brought a weighing scale, and on one end of the scale, he sat himself, and on the other end, put that much amount of gold as was equivalent to his own weight, and donated that amount of gold to all the Brahmanas. And while he was donating this gold to the Brahmanas, his clerk came to him and told to him, Dear Sethji, do you know that there is a saintly, self-realized soul who is living in Pandarpur? His name is Sri Namdev. You should definitely donate charity to him because he is such a self-realized soul and he is so dear to Lord Sri Ram that if you give charity to him, your money and your soul will get purified, and also you will become eligible for the mercy of Lord Ram. So this Seth had already heard so much about Sri Namadev, and having heard about him again from his own clerk, now he was so desperate to call Sri Namadev to his own residence so that he could donate charity of gold to him as well. As a result, he made lots and lots of requests to Sri Namadev to kindly come to him to accept some charity. But Sri Namadev kept refusing his requests. But this Seth was so desperate to donate something to him that in the end, Sri Namdev had to agree, and he pleasingly came to this Seth. When Sri Namdev came, this Seth welcomed him so lovingly and asked him to accept some charity from him. Sri Namdev humbly refused again to accept anything and kept 3 points before the Seth. He said, My dear Seth, I am not a Brahmana, and according to Vedic scriptures, only Brahmanas are eligible to accept charity. So according to Vedic scriptures, I am not eligible to accept any charity from you. Also, I have not taken up the renounced order of life. I am not a Vairagi, I am not a sannyasi, but I am a simple grihastha who earns his livelihood by tailoring. So I cannot accept your charity. Lastly, I do not have any institution to maintain or to take care of. So because of these 3 reasons, I am not eligible for your charity. Now, this Seth said, My dear Maharaj, it's not you who is asking for anything, but out of my wish, I want to donate charity to you. Please kindly don't refuse. So Sri Namdev smiled and accepted. He said, All right, dear Seth, I will accept your charity, but only on one condition. And that condition is, whatever I ask for, you have to give it to me. Do you accept it? Now the Seth started laughing and smiling, and he said, Definitely, Maharaj, whatever you ask for, I will immediately present it to you as charity. So Sri Namdev took a Tulasi Dal, or a leaf of Tulasi, and wrote the name of Ram on it. And he put that Tulasi Dal onto one end of the weighing scale. And then he turned to this Seth and said, My dear Seth, I have put this Tulasi Dal on this end. Now I want you to give me in charity the quantity of gold which can match the weight of this Tulasi Dal. Now hearing this, the Seth started laughing like anything. He said, My dear Maharaj, why are you joking with me? This Tulasi Dal weighs nothing. Instead, we can do one thing. You kindly accept 5 to 10 kgs of gold straight away. There is no need to weigh, my dear Maharaj. But Sri Namdev was determined. He said no. Whatever quantity of gold is able to match the exact weight of this Tulasi Dal, I will accept only that much quantity. So the Seth was still smiling and he started putting gold articles one by one on the other end. To his surprise, while he was putting gold articles on the other end of the weighing scale, he saw that the weight of the other end with Tulasi leaf was not at all changing. And then came a time when all the gold that was possessed by the Seth was already on the other end of the weighing scale. The leaf was still weighing more than all the gold articles together on the other end of the weighing scale. The Seth and all his relatives who had come to witness this ceremony, all of them were shocked. So this Seth told all of his relatives to put their gold jewelry on the other end of the scale. But even after doing that, again the result was same. The side of the leaf was not at all changing. Now this Seth turned towards Sri Namdev and very confusingly he asked him, Sri Namdev, I don't know what's happening. I've put all my wealth on this scale, yet the weight of the leaf is still more. Now Sri Namdev smiled and suggested something to the Seth. He said, my dear Seth, you are always engaged in philanthropic activities. You've built dharamshalas, wells, parks, and so many other welfare activities for the residents of Pandharpur, from which you have accumulated a lot of punyas. So do one thing, take a sankalpa, take a vow of all those punyas and offer it with your wealth. So as suggested by him, the Seth took a sankalpa of all the punyas that he accumulated over his lifetime and offered it with the other articles. But there was no change at all. Now the Seth was extremely worried and he begged unto the feet of Sri Namdev and asked him, my dear Maharaj, I have no clue what to do. I have donated everything that I possessed. Now you please kindly accept this much only. I have no more to give to you. Sri Namdev smiled and said, no, my dear Seth, you had promised me that you will give me whatever I ask for. And I have asked for the exact quantity of gold which is equal to the weight of this simple Tulasi Dal. The Seth could not understand this pastime. And then Sri Namdev told to him everything. My dear Seth, I have not come here to accept any charity from you, but I have only come here to make you realize that all of this wealth, this gold, this money, and all the other material possessions that you have accumulated spending your whole life is nothing in front of Ram Nam. In fact, money is the source of all the diseases. It is the key to all the problems. And what kind of fool will I be if I accept this money as charity? My dear Seth, only Sri Ram Nam, only Hari Nam is the real possession. Only that is the real wealth. And if you are not accumulating that real wealth of Hari Nam, of Sri Ram Nam, then your life is a total waste. And by this pastime, Sri Namdev made everyone realize the importance of Hari Nam. So what do we learn from this story? That the material possessions that we run after all our lives means nothing before Harinam Sankirtan. Harinam Sankirtan is the real wealth. Harinam Sankirtan is the real treasure house of happiness, ecstasy and bliss. Golo Kera Prem Dhan Hari Nam Sankirtan. This Harinam Sankirtan is not some mundane sound, but it is the treasure of Golok Vrindavan. It is the treasure which has directly descended from the spiritual world of Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. So the perfection of human form of life is to realize this sublime principle that if we have got this human body and if we are not spending our time taking to the process of this Harinam Sankirtan, then we are completely wasting our life. Srila Narottam Das Thakur says, Manushya Janama Paya Radha Krishna Na Bhajiya Janiya Shuni विष खाई नो Manushya Janam Paya. Oh, I've received this human form of life. Radha Krishna Na Bhajiya. Still, I have not chanted the names of Radha and Krishna. Janiya Shuniya. Vish Khaino. Vish means poison. Janiya Shuniya. Intentionally, I have drunk this vish, the poison. Another instance that most of the Indians must have witnessed is that whenever a person dies, then everyone around him chants Ram Naam Satya Hai, Ram Naam Satya Hai. But why do we chant this? Is it for the soul who has left the body? No. It is for the people around the dead body to realize that only Ram ka naam is the ultimate truth. Only Harinam is the reality of this material world. And if you have not chanted Harinam, you have not done anything. You have simply wasted your life. So let us not waste our lives anymore. And on this Ram Navami, let us take a vow to chant Ram Nam, to chant Krishna Nam, and to ultimately deliver ourselves from this material world of miseries, which is Dukh Alayam. As Krishna says in Gita, that this is the house of Dukkha, of miseries. So keep chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and always stay happy. So this Ram Navami, let us try to please Lord Ram by praying unto his lotus feet and by chanting his holy names and ultimately making our lives successful. Hare Krishna, Shri Shri Ram Navami Maha Mahotsav ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Shyam Sundar ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.